These are Apistogramma Trifasciata. This is Dad, this is Mum, and this is one of 3 generations of fry that have been born in the beach aquascape so far. This week I'm going to share my experience of breeding these lovely fish. I stumbled across this breed of Apistogramma a bit randomly when ordering some other fish online a few months ago. Certainly in my area of the world this is not an Apistogramma I see in the shops, and so I thought that a little breeding project might be fun. The Apistogramma Trifasciata is commonly referred to as the free striped cichlid, and this refers to the 3 dark stripes on the lateral band, the cheek stripe, and the stripe from the eye in the direction of the anus. Apistogramma Trifasciata are found in the river basins of the upper Rio Paraguay and the Rio Guapore. Males are more colourful with elongated rays in the dorsal fin and very long ventral fins. Females are more yellow and washed out with rounded off fins. As with most Apistogramma, their coloration is incredibly variable and dependent on mood. When ready to spawn, I find the female to be a much more vibrant yellow and the male's belly becomes a really beautiful electric blue. My female is absolutely tiny, certainly the smallest mature Apistogramma I've ever seen, not being much more than about 2 centimeters long. Nevertheless, she certainly has developed strong maternal instincts and is very much the dominant force in this tank. When the male displays to her, she will often bat him away with blows of the tail until such a time as she is ready to breed again. It's really interesting to observe their mating ritual develop over a couple of days, with the female eventually beginning to bend her body sideways and indicate that she is ready to lay eggs. After this, she will disappear into one of the 2 caves in the tank, one natural one in the side of some bogwood and one ceramic tube at the back of the tank. So far, she has successfully laid in both caves, so evidently does not have a huge preference. I've not witnessed the fertilization process, but it's pretty obvious that the male is not allowed to hang around for long, and he seems to give that area of the tank a wide berth thereafter. After fertilization, it tends to be about 1 week before I see the female re-emerge with fry. Research tells me that the eggs would typically hatch within 2 to 3 days, but she is very cautious about letting them out of the cave too soon. During this week, the male can be seen actively enjoying his run of the tank. However, as soon as a female emerges with the fry, she makes sure that he keeps his distance, and every time that I've had new fry, the male has disappeared completely so as to avoid the female's aggression. The first time this happened, I was worried he had passed away because I literally did not see him for about 10 days. However, this is all fairly common behaviour and nothing to worry about. In fact, it is great that with these Apistogramma, you can get away with leaving the male in the tank, because with a lot of genuses you have to remove the male completely or else he will eat the fry. For the first 2 weeks, the female is an incredibly attentive mother. She bats away anything that comes near, which in the tank is really only a couple of shrimp and some ottocinclus. She will follow the fry everywhere, and typically I have an initial group of around 20 fry each time, which generally seems to reduce to a survival rate of around 10 to 15 fry. After about 2 weeks, you notice the fry become more independent, venturing further away from the female without her seeming quite so bothered. After about 3 to 4 weeks, she seems to lose interest completely, and the mating ritual with the male begins to start all over again. Watching each new group of fry grow and become more adventurous around the tank is really interesting. They stick really close to the rocks, wood and the sand, camouflaging themselves really effectively and eating small amounts of algae. It's been interesting to observe how easygoing the adult parents are with multiple generations of fry now swimming around this tank. I've not witnessed any aggression and the survival rate appears to be high. Nevertheless, after about 2 months, the oldest group are starting to show their adult colorations, and it's probably time to move them on from this tank. I've set up a small tank on the shelf below ready for these fry to grow out, and I'll be slowly starting to catch the oldest fry and move them here as and when I can, and feed them up on fresh brine shrimp. At this rate, I should be getting around 15 new fry every month from this fantastic and very dependable breeding pair. I have discussed with my local fish shop about getting some store credit, and they seem pretty happy to get their hands on a different breed of Apistogramma, so I'll be able to put the credit towards some more fish. If you've not tried keeping Apistogramma before, I'd certainly recommend the Apistogramma Trifasciata as a very easy fish to keep that has some very enjoyable habits and routines to observe. The fact they take such good care of their fry and that you don't have to remove the male means that you can enjoy watching the fry in a fully escaped and more mature and natural setting than a bare bottom breeding tank. Personally, I found this a really relaxing and absorbing experience, and I hope you enjoyed it too. If you'd like to see the making of this tank, you can click the top right card, and for my latest video you can click the bottom right card. Take care everyone, and I'll see you soon.